Hey, sixth graders, welcome back. It is week 7. Today is May 13th, and today we are going to be solving for missing values in ratio tables. Here's what your notes look like, so go ahead and take a second to update your notes. Most of the questions we'll do today, especially in your independent practice, have the ratio table already started for you, and your job is to use multiplication and division to find out the missing values within that relationship. This particular skill and this concept as a whole will be so helpful to you as you move into 7th grade. And this is such a key skill also for your success in later grades. So I'm super excited to dive in. I love ratio tables. Let's get started. We're going to jump right in with a practice question. Go ahead and read it on your own, and we're going to come back together in about a minute and a half to review the answer. Okay, go. You don't need to use all the information given in this question. One hint I have is just choose the ratio that you think will help you get to the answer. Record that one on your paper, and then finish solving for that missing value where you see the question mark in the table. About 20 seconds left. All right, let's come back together. You've had a lot of experience with ratio tables, so I predict that you nailed it. But I just copied down a couple of ratios. I didn't copy them all down. I knew I needed to get to 60 white circles, and so I used this ratio because I know that 30 times 2 is 60. That's an easy multiplication fact. You might have known that 3 times 20 is 60. If I had a number like 7 down here, that would have been a little bit more difficult for me to get to 60. So pick an easy one. And then I did the same thing. On the other side, I got 80 black circles. Note that you can also use that within ratio relationship if you know what 3 times something equals 4. That's not a fact that you might know on the top of your head, but sometimes that relationship is the easiest. So look out for that within ratio relationship. All right, big star on your paper if you got number 1 correct. Nice work. Let's try another one. This one, the ratio table is not given, and I love this question because it's not just a part-to-part ratio, it's part to total. So let's take a look together. The ratio of students with red notebooks to blue notebooks is 3 to 7. If there is a total of 80 students with either a red or a blue notebook, how many of them had a blue notebook? All right, so go ahead and try to jot down a part to total ratio table, and we'll come back together in about 20 seconds. My ratio table has 3 columns for part 1, part 2, and the total. All right, let's come back together and just check our table setup. Here's what mine looks like. I was told that the ratio of students with red notebooks to students with blue notebooks was 3 to 7. I was also told that there were 80 total students, and I want to know the parts. I think it said blue, but I'll have to go back and double check the question. So I have red, blue, and total. If the ratio is 3 to 7, what's the total? Yes, the total is 10. We've done already the hardest part of this question. So pause the video here if you need to make sure your paper looks like this. Excellent. Then if we know we have 80 total students, we're going to multiply the parts by 8 because 10 times 8 is 80. So I can go ahead and multiply the parts all by 8. And let me double check my question. It says, how many of them had a blue notebook? So in my ratio table, I found 56 had a blue notebook. Go ahead and write your answer with me. "56 students had a blue notebook." Excellent. Go ahead and enter your answer for question 2 in the Google form. Pause the video to do that now. Thank you. And just checking, you only need to enter the number. If you enter a word after the number, the computer will mark it incorrect. It's not quite that smart. So just enter the number, please. Here's another question. This is number 3A. We're going to break this question into multiple parts. This is part A. Sarah is making bouquets of flowers for her friends. She wants to keep the number of flowers in each bouquet identical. The table shows the number of bouquets she will be making with the corresponding number of flowers she will need. Enter the missing values. Go ahead and focus on this value with the red circle. Let's take 1 minute to do that. Whoops, 1 minute. Oh. Keep in mind, if your strategy is not working right away, switch your strategy up. Try to find a different relationship. Last 20 seconds. All right, let's review. When I was answering this question, I noticed that the within ratio relationship, which is my constant of proportionality, was times 8 because 6 times 8 is 48. I can identify that relationship in the one complete ratio I'm given. All these other ratios have one missing part. So I know that the relationship is times 8, so number of bouquets times 8 equals number of flowers. If I want to go the other way and go from flowers to bouquets, I just need to switch that operation to divided by 8, or I need to multiply by the reciprocal 1/8. Either way, 32 divided by 8 is 4. So 4 is my correct answer for question 3A. All right, let's go ahead and find this value with the red circle. We're going to take one, actually, let's go ahead and make it 30 seconds. Go ahead. Last 10 seconds. All right. I was still using that same within ratio relationship. Once you know it, it's easy to use it every single time. So 3 times 8 is 24 flowers and 3 bouquets. You could have also, I'd like to challenge you, can you find another relationship that could have helped you find this missing value? How about this one? Did anyone use that on their own? I could take this 6 divided by 2. If 6 bouquets takes 48 flowers, then 3 bouquets would take 24 flowers. I can divide by 2 there. Okay, go ahead and solve for this final one. You can take this one and multiply by 2, or you can take 8 times 8. Either way, you get 64 flowers. Excellent work. I believe, yep, I don't want to trick you. So in your Google form, we're actually going to enter the answer that belongs here. So for 3 bouquets, how many flowers? Check your ratio table and enter that answer now underneath guided practice number 3B. Awesome, friends. Your question of the day today is, how do you solve for missing values in a ratio table? What operations do we use? Of course, we use multiplication and division. Pause the video and answer that now. Excellent. You have independent practice to complete today as well as a skill builder. Please check out the post from Mr. Zamora for updates on when you can get some help. And your assignment will begin posting at 10 in the mornings. Awesome work today. I'll see you back tomorrow for another day.